and welcome to the Pete De La Torre Show. Today is episode 22. Before we move on, I want to thank my sponsors, Miami-Dade College and the Health Channel. My guests today include TJ Villamil, the new Senior Vice President of International Trade for Enterprise Florida. And my second guest will be a first-time book author, Miosotis Jones, who has written a book called Alquimia Del Divorcio. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my first guest, TJ Villamil. TJ Villamil is from that famous family, the Villamil family. His dad, Tony, is one of the top local economists in South Florida. TJ has followed in his footsteps and is very, very involved in the economic development of the state of Florida. Let's sit back and watch that conversation with TJ. All right, everybody, with me is Mr. TJ Villamil, Mr. Gator himself. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Pete, how's it going? Thank you for having me on your show. Excited to be here.
No, fantastic, man. For the benefit of all the viewers, TJ and I have a little history of doing talk shows. About 5 years ago, we were operating out of Doral over at Pipeline. And I think we might have done something in the Gables, mostly in Doral. And we had a little show called Millennial Talk, I think it was called. And TJ obviously was the millennial, and I was the baby boomer. And I'm telling you, everybody, that those conversations were off the charts. We brought in some great guests, a lot of your friends, a lot of colleagues out there that are making it happen. But sometimes you and I just, we just sat there for an hour and no idea what we were going to talk about. We just went at it, and kind of like what we're going to do today, but we got a little bit more direction going on. I can see you're dressed up, so I gotta respect that. How's it going, brother?
Pete, I'm doing fantastic. I always said our talks were like cafecito talk, a Cuban coffee between us both, because we always brought the energy. I'm doing great. I'm here. The weather's changing in beautiful Coral Gables, Florida. So we're starting to get that Chamber of Commerce weather. So I have no complaints. Florida is doing fantastic. It's a good time to be here, man. It's a good time to be here. So excited to have our conversation today.
Listen, man, this is impressive, and it's a salute, first and foremost. And I think you've done this to your parents, to phenomenal people. I mean, your dad, what can I say about your dad and your mom as well? And you are a part of that legacy. And they got to be super proud of now being the Senior Vice President, International Trade and Development for Enterprise Florida, man. That's pretty important, man. So tell me how that feels and how that all happened, and what's it been like in the short time that you've been in this role?
Yeah, thank you, Pete. Look, it's definitely a tremendous honor. It's a tremendous privilege. I mean, I still sometimes, can't believe that I'm actually, able to do this and doing this right now, because it is such an important position. Basically, we get to tell the world why Florida is great and open for business. So, that is just in my DNA, in my blood. How I got here, I always start, like you mentioned, with the legacy of my parents and of their generation, the baby boomers here in Florida. I am a product of the state, so it's an easy sell. My parents were immigrants, much like many of our citizens and, neighbors that we have around the state. So they were immigrants from another country. Florida opened up her arms to them. They were able to raise their families here, one of which, I'm their son. So a proud product of the educational system here in Florida, a graduate of the state university system. And then, my parents were able to start a small business, a small consulting firm. And I was around that my whole life. And I saw what Florida was doing while here. And then obviously while I was getting educated up in Gainesville as a part of the state university system, I met some of the best, most talented individuals from around the state. And I realized that I wanted to make Florida my home forever. Florida is near and dear to my heart, not just Miami, even though I'm a Miami boy through and through. We have, the rest of the state is growing like gangbusters. So it's an excellent time to, start your own business, to grow your business here, to find fantastic, high quality, top talent. And so my wife and I did that. We had our own little consulting practice. We were able to grow with the times. And then when Manny Mencia, who, we'll talk about on the show, retired, it presented a tremendous opportunity for someone to step in this role and to sell what Florida has to offer to the global community. And when I found out about it, I couldn't be more thrilled to just even apply at the opportunity for this role. And so, next thing you know, we're here now, and I get to tell the world how awesome our great state is. So, I mean, you couldn't have picked a better job for me. So I'm like,
no, man, I saw that, and it's like you were born. You were the day you were born. You will be part of Enterprise Florida. It was a really nice thing to see. Obviously, you mentioned Manny Mencia. What a guy! What an institution! I think 30 plus years in that role, and he's going to be a hard act to follow. Can you share your thoughts on that?
Big Cuban shoes to fill.
By the way, when you mentioned, I wanted to say this, and I've told him this. When Manny speaks, he's got that thick accent, right? Mm-hmm. But he almost looks like someone imitating a Cuban talk.
Yeah.
But I've said that to him, and it's what a character, man.
No, I mean, he's absolutely amazing. And it is a tremendous honor to kind of follow in his footsteps. And his legacy will be continued to felt for generations to come. Manny quite literally wrote the book on international, statewide economic development. I really believe our state's international economic development program is the preeminent statewide economic development program in the country. We're definitely the best, if not one of the best, but I know we're the best. And it's a testament to Manny's leadership, how long my team has been a part of our leadership development program, right? We have people on our team that have been here for 20 plus years, and that will continue to stay now that I'm in this role. And that's a testament to Manny's leadership and the program and how well we're doing branding Florida as the gateway to the world, not just Latin America, but the world. So Manny's presence can definitely be felt today, every day, and will be felt for a long time to come. And it's, again, a great and tremendous honor to follow in his footsteps and to carry the baton into the next and new digital format, new digital wave, right? That's my simplest charge is take everything that Manny and, our great baby boomers have built in Florida and now bring it to the online digital world, market it, brand it, sell it, pitch it, and don't stop talking about it. So I am definitely excited about that.
Manny joins the ranks of Bill Talbert, who recently retired from, and the work he did with the Greater Miami Convention and Visitor. These are icons in our community here that are going to have left already a legacy and will continue. And I mean, your dad is the go-to economic expert in South Florida. You look at his history and what he's done. So this is a really beautiful thing to watch. Kind of like the transfer of power and the baton going on to the next, generation. It's beautiful to see how that come together. And, we're representing a state that is, that has gone through, like everybody else, especially through the COVID experience, and still going through all those challenges. But this state, and led by, I think, a phenomenal governor that has done a great job and a state stick to his guns. Economically speaking, we are in a great position right now, especially after, the peak of the COVID thing, right?
Absolutely. I think I think no doubt, the fact that Florida has emerged more resilient, more economically dynamic, post-pandemic is nothing short of remarkable. If you would have told me that we'd be shutting down the tourism and hospitality industry, we'd be shutting down people to people, and that Florida was going to be the best big state to recover from such an event, I would have told you, no way, all bets are off. Florida is highly dependent on tourism, highly dependent on hospitality, highly dependent on travel, and especially international, no doubt. But what you're seeing now is a new Florida. And, to your point earlier, This isn't our father's Florida anymore. As much as I love my dad, I love Manny, I love Bill Talbert, people that really wrote the book and ushered us into this new wave and created an incredibly solid foundation. We have a lot of new leadership, a lot of new people, right? I was actually with last week President Pumariega at Miami-Dade College, right? And with the new Bill Talbert, in his role, Mr. Whitaker. And so it was amazing to see this next level, this next baton being passed. And it's such a perfect opportunity because the old Florida was, Mickey Mouse, and we still love our partners at Disney, but it was very much beaches and Mickey Mouse, right? And the new Florida is, cybersecurity, tech companies, working remotely, startups, investments, venture capital, manufacturing, and on different, industries of the future across the board. And what happened over the pandemic was, like I mentioned, is that if 10 years ago, when Latin America would sneeze, Miami would catch a cold and we would feel the ramifications. Well, unfortunately, our greatest trade partners to the south of us haven't been doing too well economically and through the pandemic. But yet Miami and yet Florida are doing much better than anybody could have previously imagined. And it's because of this wave of domestic migration, of this wave of companies and foreign direct investment from other regions, right? Like Europe, Asia, Canada, Mexico, right? We are now more economically integrated with the rest of the world and not so, relying on one region. And then our story as a great high quality place to live, as a place that's safe, a place that's open, a place that, freedom of choice matters. I think that is resonating a lot with, tech workers, remote workers, with businesses with capital. And so you're seeing Florida, not just Miami. I mean, the whole state is on fire in a great way, where buildings are going up, cranes are everywhere, more cars are here, more traffic. That's the one downside. But people are here and they're bringing their families here and they're raising their families here because quality of life is just through the roof in Florida. And the fact that you can, manage your business from wherever and business is going to get out of your way. I mean, sign me up. It's a great story to tell in this post-pandemic environment.
There really is. And I remember your dad saying, speaking specifically about Miami, it's the Hong Kong of the Western Hemisphere. It's that trade. And of course, the Port Miami, the Miami International Airport. I mean, there's so much going for it. It's got its challenges. It's got its issues. I mean, without anything, there's no doubt. When you're growing, there are growing pains. But you just mentioned the new look of Florida and Miami is this technology sector. And when you see the mayor Suarez of Miami and, his push to, become a cryptocurrency center, blockchain, I'm doing some work with a group doing the blockchain as well. So this is, and I think that your energy, your background, your exposure, the vision you have, I think comes at a perfect time for Enterprise Florida because of what we've got to tap into and leverage in so many different ways. TJ, I got about a couple of minutes left, and I mean, we can go on for, like I said, an hour easily. What's your vision, and what would you like to accomplish in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, it's a perfect segue. I'm still in my 90-day listening tour. I'm still gathering all the inputs. I'm still learning a lot about the completeness of and breadth of our program. But I can tell you, the low-hanging fruit that is definitely going to be part of my vision and a part of my strategy. And that was part of, what I was hoping to get this role was because I already see that we have a tremendous product. We have a tremendous story, but I feel like I can use my talents and leverage the power of new digital media and tell it online. Use Twitter, use social, use Instagram, use content, right? Create a sort of show and the playbook is there, right? Mayor Francis Suarez has done it. Get people talking about what we're doing digitally. And I think that's definitely my low-hanging fruit, my charge, because I think our program is one of the best in the world. It deserves to be told. And so I would be selling, this position short if I didn't go out there and try and let the world know about what we're doing. And the cool part about it is the old way was you got to do one-offs, handshakings and meetings, and I think that's still going to be a big component of what I do. I always say it's not going to be all digital and no in person. It's going to be hybrid, which I think is the future of the world. But I think, the scale and the leverage of what you could do and what you're doing on this show is a perfect example of how, you don't need all the resources in the world. You just need to be committed to it consistently. It's very much a sea change of what we've experienced meeting in the past. And, like we mentioned earlier, Mayor Suarez, all he did was get up on Twitter and he hustles at it, right? He's on there tweeting and recruiting companies, and it's working. And we're seeing companies come here just because of that friendly business environment that is constantly being talked about. And that's exactly what I'm here for. And that's going to be the first and foremost priority in that checkbox that we got to make happen.
Well, brother, I thank you. I thank you so much for taking time. I know you're going full throttle on all of this, and congratulations, buddy. The family's got to be just so proud. And how's your little guy doing, by the way?
Yeah, I have a son. He's a year and a couple of months. He's going to be that next wave of that Florida story, right? We have prepaid for him, so hopefully he gets to go to university here one day. But I have it that intrinsic motivation. I really want Florida to continue to succeed, to continue to have this opportunity with all these growth for him, for that next generation of Floridians. We're expected to have. Right now we have a population in the mid 20 millions. We're expected to have a population of 40 million in the future. What does that future Florida look like? It's not going to be my Florida anymore. It's going to be his. So it's a great opportunity to kind of shape and mold it and let it grow.
I'm going to give you a sneak preview, guy. Just start looking up, because I think that's where Florida's going. You know what I'm talking about.
All day.
Vertical state, man.
There you go. Yeah, we're building. We're growing. We're doing it.
All right, buddy. Hey, thanks so much, man. And God bless you and your family and your parents. And we'll have many, many more conversations.
Absolutely. Big abrazos, Pete.
All right, you got it, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, a big thanks to TJ Villamil. As you can tell, he has all the energy in the world to represent our great state of Florida around the world. And now for my second guest. Miosotis Jones is a first-time book author. Her first book, Alquimia del Divorcio, will be coming out to the world in about 2 months. Let's listen to my conversation with Miosotis. All right, it is my pleasure to bring to the Pete Del Torre Show Miosotis Jones, who is now the author of an upcoming, very exciting book. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Pete. Thank you for having me on your show, and thank you to everybody who's watching us.
Thank you so much. This, for the benefit of the viewers, is the first in a 3-part series leading up to the release of your book in January, Alquimia del Divorcio. And it is a personal memoir that you have written, something that you experienced firsthand. And I think that when we tell our stories and they come from the heart, that really connects with so many people. And we're going to have the opportunity of doing that with you for 3 consecutive interviews. Before we get into the heart of the matter, which is the book, and all the time that you've put into it, can you share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what has influenced you throughout your life?
I have born in the Dominican Republic in a little town called Pimentel. I am the oldest of 6 siblings and the happy aunt of 20 nibblings, nephews and nieces, and
20.
mother of 2.
Wow.
Yes. I don't, when I say I come from a big family, I do. I studied fashion designer and interior decoration, but I have fallen in love with the deals. And I have been a real estate investor for the past 12 years.
Real estate investor?
Yes.
And what got you excited or getting you involved with the real estate?
I guess the ways that real estate is done, you could do so many things. You could make a deal in so many different ways. It's amazing. And the fact that I am an interior decorator, I could see a property all rotten down in pieces, and I could see it all of renovated and full and ready. So also, it's a business that allow me to travel, which is something that I enjoyed very much. I have been in 30 countries so far. And real estate and writing are two things that I enjoyed, I love, and I could do from anywhere. I could manage from anywhere. That gives me a lot of freedom. So yes, that's why.
Fantastic. And who was the biggest influence for you in your life?
Um, a lot of people, but I believe my mom, she's somebody very hard worker, um, generous and minded and strong person, So also, I think a lot of wise and smart people have done that through their books, their teachings, their writing, and through my life. Everything I have read about personal growth, investment, have motivated me to achieve my dreams and to be a better person and to go for my goals.
What do you believe is the one? I know that our parents are a big part of who we are today. What was the? Can you think of the one big thing that really left a mark with you regarding your mom? What do you remember most that really stands out for you?
She's somebody who stand up for herself. You know, back in the days, a woman getting a divorce is not was easy thing to do, but when she felt that her husband mistreat her, disrespect her, she will stand up and she will get a divorce if she has to, regardless of how much she has to work to support herself and support her children and to have financial independence to do so.
So she has
I think that leave a mark on me.
yeah, she is strong person, strong character, believed in herself and what she wanted. And that's something that I think is very powerful for all of us. Speaking about the book, what inspired you to write this book? That I believe it was about a 2-year project, correct?
Yes, I have been divorced for a while, but separated from my ex for since 2013. And when I see divorce, I wanted to give a different approach. Divorce is something that have touched me very deeply since I was very young. My mother got divorced 3 times by the time I was 12. So when I was growing up, I knew I wanted to be a wife and to be a mother, and I knew I wanted to my children to grow up and me to grow old with my husband, but it didn't happen that way. So when divorce came to me, it was very tough, very difficult for me. So if somebody have read the first chapter of my book, Alchemy of Divorce, that is for free on my website, could know what I'm talking about when I speak about difficult times. And then today, when I see myself where I am, compare where I was a few years back, I say, how did I did that? I'm happy and content with my life. I have made amendment with my past. I'm a friend of my ex-husband, and we're doing a great teamwork raising our kids. My kids are happy and doing great at school. I have a profitable business who has grown tremendously his size and income in the past 3 years. And I say, how did I do that? Knowing from where I was to see where I am right now, just in a few years. And I say, how did I did that? And that come as a purpose to share that. And the idea of sharing that, it came through a book, like I have been inspired through many books, and then I went ahead and wrote a memoir, come out with a memoir.
A memoir and we've had conversations where you're a very, very private person. and this is coming out, and it's not been easy. I think for anyone that is very private in their lives and all that, to come out and come out of a comfort zone, especially with a book. It's something that reveals yourself and the things that you believe in, and things that you stand for, and that takes a lot of courage to do that. So the book is going to be launched in in about 3 months, give or take, in January.
Yes.
We're going to get into the book, and especially in the next couple of conversations. But what can you share? What would you like to share with the audience today? Kind of a sneak preview of what they can expect.
Alchemy of Divorce is a memoir where I speak about my story, personal detail and private details of my life. And for somebody who has been as private as me all her life, always managed to stay out of social media until now. First time I have, all the social media accounts open is for this book. Because I believe in this project, and I believe that this is the best way I could reach as much people as possible in order to deliver the message I want to share. I came with the idea to writing a book, but coming with the idea to writing a memoir, it was a tough one, But at the same time, it was the right way to do, because I told myself, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, so I cannot tell people what to do. Mm-hmm. But through a memoir, I could inspire them and motivate them through my story to move from where they are to where I am right now. Mm-hmm. So I know divorce is something very difficult and painful. And if somebody has been through divorce, know what I'm talking about. If you have a family, a member, a close friend who have gone through a divorce. So I wanted to change the perception we have through divorce, because more and more we're going to keep seeing that, it's people, and the statistics are getting higher. People are going to divorce more often than before. So to see as a new door, new opportunity to reinvent yourself and to achieve your goals and what you want, to become whoever you want. Now you are older, you're wiser, and you could choose to be whoever you want to be, So I hope that through this book, I could inspire them and motivate them to let go, to move on, And like I say, like this book is very personal, very intimate. So I divide the book in two parts. The first part, I speak about my divorce, my story, my struggle while I was married, while I was divorced, after the divorce, while we got back together, and after we break up for good. And then in that first part, I think I could relate with many people, because I went through very difficult times. Live in a hospital without shoes and clothes, like I share in the first chapter of my book. At my age, I think I have been in a lot of people's shoes, I could even identify easily with people. So if they could see where I was a few years back through that story, when I speak about the second part, that is the alchemy, I could show my transformation, my learning, and how I went to be from where I was to where I am today. And this is the main purpose. It's not just to tell my story, it's to tell to share my achievement and how I did it from where I was to where I am today. And I'm hoping with this book, I could inspire and motivate many people to go on with their life after a breakup or a divorce.
Well, we're looking forward to the next two conversations. How can the audience get to know more about you, and what should they do as we lead up to the launch of the book?
They could go to my website, miojones.com. They could download the first chapter for free, and they could follow up on social media all the things we are doing for the book, and hoping to reach and to help as much people as possible with this project.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to the next two conversations, and
Thank you for having me on your show. And always a pleasure talking to you, Pete.
All right. Have a good one. Take care of yourself.
Thank you to our listeners too.
All right. Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye. Hey, a big thank you to Miosotis Jones for sharing what will be the first of 3 interviews we're going to have on this program as we lead to the launch of her book in about a couple of months. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with me here today, as you always do. Keep sending me your feedback and your comments on what we're doing, because at the end of the day, it is for you, my friends. I'm going to ask you to follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and if you got a moment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pete Della Torre. And you could also listen to me on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and Spotify. Thank you so much. You have yourself a phenomenal week. Take care, and God bless.